Am I the asshole for deleting my vlogger friend's footage without her permission?
Yes. Moving on to the next one. Let's go.
As a vlogger myself. Okay.
Yeah.
I invited my friends over for a housewarming to celebrate me moving into my dream home. It's a place I've been saving and working super hard for, parentheses, something that all of my friends are aware of, and everyone was happy to come over and celebrate the milestone. The issue is that one of my friends, parentheses, Susie, is a popular vlogger. She asked if she could film part of the party to include in her, quote, day in the life video. I'm super private, so I said no at first, but Susie promised she wouldn't show anything personal and only wanted a couple scenes of my friends laughing together and footage of the food spread. She also promised I wouldn't be in the video.
Oh, no.
I was still uncomfortable, but after she assured she wouldn't overshare, I said fine. The day of, within 10 minutes of the party starting, a mutual friend pulled me aside and said that she saw Susie filming her intro and mentioned giving a quote, house tour of her friend's new home. She also said that she saw Susie filming the outside of my home from top to bottom, and it would be easy to tell the neighborhood I lived in.
Oh my fucking God.
During the entirety of the party, I noticed that Susie kept filming more than what she promised, so I did confront her about it. I asked to see the footage, and Susie said no, and acted super offended that I wouldn't trust her. I waited towards the end of the party, and when Susie was in the bathroom before leaving, I decided to just go through her camera. I was furious when I noticed that she filmed my whole home, even my bedroom and closet, and there were tons of clips where you could clearly see my face.
And the entire time she was like, and you can hide in there and watch her while she sleeps.
God.
Jesus fucking Christ. Like, do you fucking want your friend to get murdered or something?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I would never. Okay.
That's insane.
I'm not kidding when I say that the footage looked like one of those home tour videos that realtors post online. I can admit that I was acting on impulse in my anger at this point, but I went ahead and just deleted all of the footage of the party. She found out shortly after when she went to shoot footage of everyone leaving and confronted me. I did admit to doing it, and we had a bit of a row until I just kicked her out. Most of my friends are understanding and, quote, on my side, but they did say that I shouldn't have gone and deleted the footage myself. I personally felt like I did the nice way of asking Susie directly first, but she was being so obstinate that I had no choice. The drama's been spreading around now with mixed reactions, so I want another opinion in case I really was the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my husband he's too broke to be so sexist?
I'm gonna treat this very seriously.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Throwaway. So my husband comes from a, quote, traditional family. Mom's a stay-at-home mom. Father was sole provider.
Good. That's good.
Mom's a stay-at-home mom. Father was a sole provider. I come from the opposite. My mother pretty much forbade me from ever being financially dependent on a man and drilled that into me early on. My husband worked hard to unlearn the values he saw replicated at home. He, parentheses, more often than, pulled his weight at home, was an engaged and present father and a genuine partner.
That's genuinely very good.
Yeah. The one thing that grinds my gears is how much weight he puts on the opinions of his family. I get that we all want our parents to be proud of us, but this is too much. My in-laws are staying with us for 2 weeks. Our usual MO is, I prep breakfast, we all eat lunch at work and school, and my husband makes dinner. We have a cleaner, but she's on holiday, so in the meantime, we're DIYing the cleaning when it's down to everyone to keep their space clean, and common spaces we all clean.
Okay.
This is how we've always done it, and it works. My in-laws hate that I'm, quote, one of those modern women. They hate that I work, they hate that I don't find my purpose in being a wife and mother, and they hate that my husband pulls his weight at home. We spoke pretty frankly early on where I established my boundaries and told them I won't be chastised about how I live my life in my home. When I am a guest in their home, I accommodate their ways and play the daughter-in-law they wish I was. They have for the most part respected this.
That sounds really good for your mental health.
Yeah, it definitely isn't a bad thing at all. They have to like,
pretend to be
switch.
A separate person.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually. Studies have shown that it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'm stopping.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I got home yesterday after work, tired and starving. I typically get home around 6:15, 6:30, and we eat at 7. I said quick hellos and ran up for a pre-dinner shower. When I came down, I went to the kitchen to help set up for dinner and found nothing ready. I asked my husband about it, but he wouldn't look at me, and his mother answered that he hadn't cooked anything. She told me I needed to do my duty as a wife and cook for my family.
And she's correct.
My coward of a husband still wasn't looking at me. I just walked away and ordered takeaway.
He shouldn't have to do. Honestly, he shouldn't have to do that. He shouldn't have to look you in the eye. You don't deserve it.
I just walked away and ordered takeaway. I dished up for me and my kids, and we sat at the table to eat.
So lazy.
My husband and his parents served themselves and joined us. My mother-in-law was still going on about what was wrong with me and why I was a failure. I asked my husband if he had anything to say. He said his mother had a point and it wouldn't hurt if I acted, quote, more like a proper woman and, quote, took better care of my home and children.
That's so true. That's your job from birth. How do you think a man will ever love you if you don't do that?
He said tradition was tradition for a reason, and it was kind of insulting that I thought I was too good for how he was raised. This is where I might be the asshole. I told him tradition won't allow a man on $35,000 to support a family of 5, and he was too broke to be sexist.
How dare you, woman! That's the worst crime! Calling a man poor!
He looked hurt, and I saw tears welling in his eyes.
He's crying?
He excused himself from the table. I regret saying this in front of our children, but him saying that to me after I'm busting my ass to clean up his mess on top of having to deal with his parents was too much for me. Am I the asshole?
Yes. No.
Discuss.
Am I the asshole for bringing in a personal visitor to the nursing home I work at to compete at chess with one of the residents?
Okay.
I work at an assisted living facility, i.e. a nursing home for people who are very elderly and cannot care for themselves. One of the residents in the wing I work at is quote-unquote Josh, a 97-year-old man. I know it's you.
It's me.
The 97-year-old man who has pretty bad cognitive decay. Most of the time, he doesn't remember who I am, who he is, where he is, or what's going on. However, he's a former national chess champion, something I only know about because the personal effects in his room include some of his trophies and other awards.
Oh.
We've got a few sets in the common areas, and if you wake him up long enough to play, he does still remember how, and he's thrashed most of the staff at one point or another over the board. Well, it's not a close friend, but I have a guy I know who is kind of a friend of a friend. Let's call him Bob. And he's the top player at some local chess association. A long way down from a pro player, but the sort of guy who is usually the strongest player in the room. I had mentioned that one of the residents I care for is the former champion, and he asked to come by to visit since Bob's a huge chess nerd and wanted to meet a national champion, no matter what kind of state he was in. We allow visitors, so I signed him in, and by good luck, it was one of Josh's better days. Long story short, they went into one of the common rooms and played chess for 6 hours straight.
What?
Wow. I wasn't able to stick around to watch most of it, but I talked with Bob afterwards, who said that while he's clearly not the player he was when he won the national championships anymore, Josh is still, quote-unquote, a mean old buzzard over the board and won a bit over two-thirds of their game.
Wow, hell yeah.
Josh missed dinner, and I had to get into the canteen after hours and make him some scrambled eggs and toast just so he'd have something to eat. And I was with him for the dinner, and it was the most animated I'd seen him in ever, actually.
That's good.
He was actually talking about his day and definitely remembered what was going on and how this quote-unquote young punk came to challenge him, and he had to show the kid how it's done.
Fuck yeah.
All in all, I thought I did a good thing, brightened up a very old, very sick man's day, but pretty much all of my coworkers have the opposite take, that disrupting this schedule and agitating him like that was a bad asshole-ish thing to do, especially if it caused him to miss his regular dinner. I'm pretty new at this job, so I do value their opinions, but I don't think what I did was wrong. Am I the asshole here, especially if I do it again?
Am I the asshole for not having an excited reaction to my wife's surprise early Father's Day gift?
Oh.
34 male here. I'm not sure how to start this, so I'll just get right to it. My wife surprised me with a gift that when presented, I didn't really have the best reaction. My wife had the day off and wanted to have a day with her friends to watch Bridgerton and drink mimosas. Since she was having her day with her girlfriends, I decided to have her a couple rounds of disc golf. I get off work and do daily chores, garbage, walk the dog, and feed myself. As I'm leaving to walk the dog, I tell my wife that I'm going to go play disc golf after I'm done, to which she replies, well, maybe you shouldn't. I'll tell you when you get back. This already kind of dampened my mood as I had a long day, and getting some light exercise in the clear weather sounded quite nice. Not to mention I've made said plans with a couple of people, which now I may have to cancel. Not a big deal, right? Now that that's out of the way, here's the meat and potatoes. She got me a grill, and not only that, I now have to go pick up said grill, assemble it, and prepare dinner for guests because it's nice out. She invited friends over for me to cook for. It was presented in the manner of, I got you a grill and invited our friends over, and when you get it put together, you can use it. Needless to say, my internal self was screaming and the stress meter moved up a bit. I gave a, oh, cool, and tried my hardest not to seem ungrateful, but the surprise seemed very impulsive and just created a ton of work for me to do. So I canceled my plans. My wife canceled the pickup order due to my ungrateful attitude. We are now going out to eat with said people, and we are now in a fight. Was I the asshole?
Nah, your wife set you up.
I get the surprise grill. That could be a good gift if they're into grilling and this isn't just for your benefit. But just think of the anxiety of, all right, you got to put it together and
Pick it up first.
yeah, pick it up, put it together, cook a meal, serve it to the, like, oh, holy shit. I just got off of work. That's a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My baby sister called me dad.
Sounds like a wholesome one.
I, male 31, was 20 when my sister, 11, was born. Our mom wasn't in a good place physically or mentally, and her father was a druggie, so I took her in and have been raising her ever since. In certain ways, I have always seen her as a daughter, and I feel as though the love I have for her would be the love a father has for his kids. I mean, I watched her grow up and was there for every single milestone. Most would consider me to be my sister's dad, but my sister grew up with the knowledge I am her big brother, and the reason I take care of her is our mom and her dad can't take care of her the way they should. We are both sick. My sister has chronic asthma, and when sick, her asthma is worse. At like 3 a.m., I heard her wheezing and coughing in her sleep and got her nebulizer to give her a breathing treatment, and I had to wake her up to take it. She was half asleep, and when she finished, I told her she could go back to sleep. She mumbled, okay. Then, as I was leaving her room, she said, thank you, Dad. It was quiet, but I heard it. I had a good happy/emotional cry, and it's getting me teary-eyed just thinking about it. There's an update. After that, she went back to calling me by my first name, so I decided to take up advice from some comments. I told her that when half asleep, she called me Dad, and she looked panicky and apologized. I told her she had no reason to apologize, and I actually wanted to talk to her about it. And I let her know if she wanted to, she could call me Dad. But she never had to feel forced to call me Dad, like I said, only if she wanted to. She started to cry, and she let me know there had been so many times she wanted to call me Dad and almost have, but stopped herself because I was her brother. I told her we both knew I'd never be just her brother. Plus, a dad isn't always someone who is biologically your father, but the person who raised you. And after that, we both cried. But the past few days, I've been dad. It's honestly been amazing to hear. Like I said in my original post, I have always felt like a dad to her instead of a brother.
Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that my birthday was terrible because of her?
Damn.
So I'm 32 male and my girlfriend is 29. Today was my birthday. About a week ago, when my girlfriend approached me asking what I wanted, I said that I'd rather just stay in, game, and maybe order some food. She seemed disappointed because she wanted to do more, but she knows, or is at least supposed to know, that I'm more of a homebody. The only time I really want to go out is either A, traveling, or B, seeing a movie. So this morning, which is on his birthday, she woke me up at 9 a.m. and said she had something special planned for me. I immediately knew that no matter what it was, whether it would be a movie or a day trip, that I wasn't really in the mood to go. But despite my earlier comments about wanting to stay home, she had obviously planned something, and so not going along for the ride would have upset her. We got in her car and she drove directly to the mall. I hate the mall. I hate the mall more with her because she just wants to go there 8-hour window shopping marathons, where she keeps asking me questions about what she thinks, what would look good on her. I voiced this to her before, but she didn't seem to understand or care. I just hoped for the off chance that maybe we were going to see a movie and leave. That wasn't the case. She dragged me around the mall window shopping. The only break was lunch in the food court, then back to window shopping. Around dinner time, I thought she may have something something more special planned. She drove me across town and I assumed we may be going to Korean barbecue, but she parked in front of a sushi restaurant. She's supposed to know that I really dislike sushi. The only kind of roll I can really stomach is the egg nigiri. While eating, she was obviously trying to force this hyper positivity about how everything was great, and I apparently couldn't react well enough for her. And when the check came, she made no inclinations that she was going to take out her wallet, so I just ended up paying the bill.
Damn.
Oh man.
It's tough.
We got home and she asked how it was. I didn't want to hurt her feelings, but I told her it was a terrible birthday and that she should have just left me alone. She immediately began debating the point, and I may have been harsh, but I said she obviously doesn't give the first shit about my feelings and just wanted to do what she wanted. She began quietly crying until she called me an unappreciative asshole, went to the bedroom and slammed the door. I heard her shriek several times. I don't know what I was supposed to do. Should I have just shut up and pretended to enjoy it? And am I the asshole?
I'm gonna go not the asshole for this one. And it seems like that your girlfriend doesn't genuinely care about what you want. And I think at this point, you guys are not compatible. You should break up.
Yeah.